Hello, it's me, Jack-a-Lopium. Welcome along. We're here looking at Romance of the Three Kingdoms 14. This is including the Diplomacy and Strategy expansion pack, but not either of the two, I think it is, DLC bundles. We're not going to worry about those. I think they're just, I think they're scenarios. Scenarios being start dates. So anyway, Romance of the Three Kingdoms 14. I'm on a massive kind of like Chinese art kind of tip at the moment, which is why I love playing Ballads of Hongate. That's what we've been playing on the channel. There have been a few other kind of Chinese indie games like Sands of Salazar and things like that. Admittedly, Romance of the Three Kingdoms 14. I don't know if anybody knows anything about this series. I remember years and years ago when I started playing Rot3K. Let's call it that. I think it was 13, so the last iteration. There was like very little to no content on YouTube regarding this series. Thankfully there's a bit more, but it's kind of patchy. There is more, but you know, there are some creators that do kind of concentrate on this. But yeah, these games are not Chinese, they are Japanese. The publisher and developer is KOEI Tecmo, who are famous for the Dynasty Warriors games and the various kind of licensed games, which is based on the same system as Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors. But they're also kind of famous for other things like the Atelier series of RPGs and Uncharted Waters, and some various other bits and bobs, but they are also quite famous for the Romance of the Three Kingdoms games. And yeah, this is number 14, and I've sort of been kind of like not diving into this for years because everybody keeps reviewing these games and they're like, oh, KOEI Tecmo have taken a massive nosedive. And they're not very good anymore. But I recently bought Dynasty Warriors 9, the latest one, and I love it. I bought the latest Samurai Warriors, which is Samurai Warriors 5, and I love it. So yeah, I love both of those, and I recently bought on sale this game, you know, Rot3K14. And I kind of love it too, although I've not played all that much of it. This is what we're going to be looking at. This is going to be a little bit of a review, I guess, but kind of a first look, but not really. You could do the tutorial, and if you were to pick this up, I think you would want to do the tutorials. Some of the systems are quite in-depth, so you are going to want to kind of familiarise yourself with the kind of main points, and I still think there's a lot more kind of like mysteries which are going to be given up over the course of the gameplay. I don't think the tutorials, because it's a strategy game, it is a grand strategy game as well, so it's like one of those, you know, easy to learn, difficult to master type affairs. But you also want to play through the tutorials to pick up these rewards, which are, I think they call them like, what do they call them? They're like ancient officers, or they're like legendary officers, or whatever, because if you go right down to the bottom, there's Hua Mulan. What we are going to do is we're going to start playing through one of these scenarios. And like I say, a scenario is a start date. So a start date for say you like Crusader Kings, you'd know these as like start dates or bookmarks or whatever. I think we're gonna check out the Anti-Dongzhuo Coalition, but as you can see, I've not finished any of these. So this would be not my first rodeo of this game. I did try out some starts of the Yellow Turban Rebellion and got my backside handed to me basically, so let's leave it for now. Let's do an Anti-Dongzhuo coalition. It does also mean that we can use a faction which we couldn't use in the Yellow Turban Rebellion, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Basically, I think we do want to have original officers to appear. Just gonna select them all. Fearless Chung is somebody like a player generated officer, which I took a look at just while I was fiddling around with the game. It is based on Sammo Hung's character from the Spooky Encounters films. One of the kind of dubbed names of the Sammo Hung character is is Fearless Chung, so that's the name I'm gonna go with. But yeah, we're gonna take him, we're gonna take all of these other guys as well, and it of course includes Hua Mulan, but there are loads of these people, so that's awesome. Oh, this guy is an original officer. Wow, I didn't realise that. He showed up in the last game I played, and he's got pretty good stats. So yeah, this also includes like fictional DLC characters that are either based on characters from the Italia Riza saga, or various other kind of streamers, I think, and various other people from Koei Tecmo type games. Like, she's a character from the Genghis Khan games. I don't even know what those are. I wonder if those are kind of Japanese only strategy games of some kind. So yeah, anyway, there are our original officers. They're gonna come in with us. Oh, it's already chosen Cao Cao for us. Maybe that's the guy I was thinking. Perhaps this is a bad idea because the difficulty is at 4 stars out of 5, and yeah. Again, not very experienced with this game. I am experienced with number 13. That's the one I am most experienced with. That was the last iteration. And I have played a couple of the other ones previously as well. I think like 11 and probably 12 as well. But yeah, first thing we need to do is choose which character we are going to play. Mostly I am going to choose Cao Cao, just because of many reasons. He is one of my favourite characters from the Romance of the Three Kingdoms saga, from the book, etc. But for me, Cao Cao seems to have had the greatest claim to be the ruler of China, just for many reasons. He did control the mandate of heaven, and that's the mandate. That's the mandate of the Chinese people. So Cao Cao was the bad guy in the book, but in reality, he's probably the good guy, if you see what I mean. He had the most rights to be controller of China, and did become controller of China. So he wasn't by any stretch of the imagination an evil man. It was just a revisionist history that cast him as a bad guy.
黄巾起义余波未平，何进与时常侍
The respite following the Yellow Turban Rebellion does not last long as the struggle. Sorry, didn't read that. Yin holds power for short while following the ascension of Emperor Shao, but is assassinated by the eunuchs. There you go. Not long after, the eunuchs are also wiped out, there you go, by Yuan Shao and his followers. And the young emperor falls into the hands of Dong Zhuo, a powerful leader from the west. So, yep, he's very powerful. But yeah, he was brought down by this guy, Lu Bu, and from kind of them lusting after, and we'll probably talk about it in a minute. He uses that might to violently depose Emperor Shao in favour of Emperor Xian, and places himself as kind of like the right-hand man to the Emperor. But yeah, he was brought low by Diao Chan in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and there's no historical kind of evidence for that ever happening. Diao Chan, despite being, considered one of the four great beauties of Chinese myth, and 3 of those beauties are people who actually existed, Diao Chan did not. There's no evidence for her even existing. But of course, it's a great story, so why should that make any difference if you're writing a fiction? Just stick in fictional people. What's wrong with it? I do see, and I do kind of balk at kind of various YouTubers talking about Romance of the Three Kingdoms as if it's a historical simulation, and it absolutely is not. It's fictional. It's 100% fictional. Like I say, it's based on historical things that did happen in reality, but it's so far removed. And like I say, the characters are different despite having the same names. Sir, a messenger has arrived from Lord Cao Cao. Here is the letter. Let's see, says Yuan Shao. Now, Yuan Shao is pretty important as well. He should be leading the anti-Dong Zhuo forces. That's exactly where Cao Cao becomes very prominent. Gather the troops at once. Let's set out to eliminate Dong Zhuo. Awesome. Dong Zhuo, Cao Cao. I bring news. Lords who have answered the call of Cao Cao. Yeah, it was Cao Cao who actually put the call out, right? So yes, Cao Cao actually put the call out, but yeah, they were united around Yuan Shao. But he didn't put the call out, I don't believe. Again, it was very many years ago when I read the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and it's not an easy read by any stretch of the imagination, because for many reasons, but Chinese tend to have at least 2 names. They have like a kind of like a business name, like a professional name, and a personal name. So Cao Cao, I think, is his business name. It's not his personal name, but I could be wrong there. So yes, they often in the text flip between using Cao Cao and Cao Cao's personal name. So the book itself has like 700 unique characters. And then if your 700 characters are referred to sometimes by their business name and sometimes by their personal name, that's like 1,400 names you got to get to grips with. It's near enough impossible. It's there have been some simplification over time, and I did buy a simplification. I believe the latest publication of The penguin is a simplification of Romance of the Three Kingdoms, but I've not dived into it yet or dove into it yet. So this is us. This is the game. One new thing, or well, there are several new things in regard to the gameplay. First and most important being the hex-based grid. Rather than a kind of implied grid, is that there really wasn't a kind of open world or anything. You had to follow along with the various roads. But here we've got pretty much an open world. I think there are a few kind of like mountains that we can't get through. So we're all arrayed. Basically, it's one against all. Much like the Yellow Turban Rebellion, where that's a one against all. That's basically that the Yellow Turbans, who are kind of here, their land seems to have been broken up between, you know, South, between us and various other warlords. Basically, who, you know, these warlords were kind of rewarded from their service during the Yellow Turban Rebellion, so South was rewarded these three regions. And yeah, like I say, if we highlight the name Chen Liu, you can see, I don't know if you can see, but there is a flashing yellow border there. Now, that yellow border shows us the extent of our region, and once we grab a region, we get a geographic advantage. So if we manage to conquer all of that region there, it's the Yan province. It gives us the geographic advantage of trusted. The condition is 2 conquered cities. I don't know if that means you know, cities in different regions, because every region only has kind of one core, it looks like, even though it has multiple cities. So Chenlu would be the core, and there are also like Yongqi, Yongqi, and Chenlu. These are non-cores, so we can't. Cores mean we can't march troops from these cities, but they contribute to our. Look, you can see that those are flowing from the outlying cities into Chenyu. So yeah, they contribute to us. So the first thing you'd probably want to do is try and conquer all of the white cities inside of our yellow border. We do start as Cao with quite a number of officers, and we can check that out in the info. Gimme. So yeah, these are all of our officers. Cao traditionally starts with vast numbers of officers. Whereas if we were starting with somebody like Liu Bei, he would literally probably only start with Liu Bei and you know, Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, and you know, people, maybe not even Zhuge Liang. It depends on when the start is, I guess. But Cao comes with already a massive family. He's kind of already represents a kind of conglomeration of various noble families. So that is our advantage as well. We start off with great manpower. I think probably one of the best places to start when playing the game is to go into appointments and administration. So yeah, we can choose. There's us. There's Cao, our ruler. Everybody else can be auto-selected, really, if you want. And that's the way they do it in the tutorials. So I guess that's what we're going to do. It does mean we plow through 8 of our 10 turns. I don't know if you get any more orders than that. I've not seen the number of orders go up past 10 yet, but like I say, very, very small amount of experience with this game. Here are our Xiao family brothers there. They are very important to the story and to Cao Cao's war effort. So that's burnt through 8 of our starting orders. We do get 10 orders per turn to start with, and each turn is basically like a third of a month. It's a 10-day period. So the next thing I think we should do is go into the way you can do it is this way here. In fact, let's do this first. No. Chen Lu domestics. Instead of area government, let's go into city government first. Recruitment is Zhuan, is Xiao Yuan, and Xiao Dun can be our training officer. Let's put those two guys. Let's choose out Xiao brothers, and that takes the last 2 of our orders, which sucks. But that is the most important thing. And then next turn we'll look at grabbing or assigning an overseer. If you've ever played one of these games before, either Romance of the Three Kingdoms or Nobunaga's Ambition, they're kind of functioning the same way. You assign an overseer to the city. Let's play out this turn. It is a shame we did have to blast through all of our... I guess we could have saved a few turns. The Liu Bei army and the Yuan Shao have formed a coalition. Yep. Formed an alliance. By Emperor Xian's edict, she has assumed the post of Lieutenant Governor. I've received a report of great talent hidden in Chenyu. Yep, that's great. See if there are any more reports. No. So yeah, at this period we could probably do with forming some alliances. But I think the first thing we do is let's go in to domestics, and then we'll do area government. So Chenyu, our overseer is going to be probably South for the time being. Now, they can choose... The overseer can choose between 3 different schedules. They can either choose commerce, which is based on the intelligence stat, the agriculture, which is based on policy stat, I believe, which is here, and then barracks is based on strength. So again, a better way to look at it is just to keep our eyes on the green number here. Choose whichever one's the greatest. So either 8, 9, or 9. And you can even tailor this experience. If we wanted somebody... if we wanted to... We could assign Xiao Dun, and look at that. Because his intelligence and policy stat is lower, it would be 5 and 6, but barracks would be a 10. So we've increased ourselves 1 point, was that? It probably isn't. Oh no, it's 2 points. Okay. I think we are going to do that. We're going to concentrate on barracks just to push up our troop limit at the capital building, and each city can get someone in. I think we put somebody with intelligence in. There you go. Commerce. Great. And then you can be somebody with policy. Ooh, look. Chen Gong is actually... Oh my lord. Let's put a lady in charge. Just because ladies, historically in this period, again, were not, you know... They didn't have full equality or anything like that. It was 2,000 years ago, so... and then also, let's pop that in. So yeah, that's taken out 3 of our orders out of 10 now. One of the kind of best things you want to do is search. You want to be doing this probably every turn if you can. Is searching Chengdu. Not Xiao Dummer. Because he's in charge of our training. I actually want the next guy on the list, Li Dian, Master Li. So, you can choose, I think it's up to 9 officers who can carry this out at a time. Perhaps we'll go back on that. It might be worth, if we've got any orders left over, to go in and search with even more ossifers. But yeah, I think you can do 9 max. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please do leave a like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.
I've lost control. Who am I? What am I?